Thank you so much for your time. I
No
know how
worries.
busy you are, so I just am so excited to talk to you because
Oh,
there's
thank you so much. No, no. I mean, it's been crazy just because we're with COVID and protocols and everything. Just get
understood, understood.
everything changes. You can't even imagine how insane it is. So it's like I never know. I the only day I can do stuff is Sunday. That's really it.
I can imagine. I was going to ask you about that. I mean, I didn't want to start with the new series, but let's just start with the new series because
Okay, sure, yeah.
I mean, you blew me away on Tuesday night. I had it all set on my PVR. I was going to sit and watch it. Holy are you ever great on that show?
Oh,
You
thank you so much.
What was your initial reaction when you got this script? Like, were you a bit nervous to play a guy like this?
I'm always nervous to play most parts, and that's what I'm like. I think I should do this now. Like in the hands of David and our team and
Yeah.
Paul, the director, I was like, I know that they have the best intentions, regardless of what people think or how the project turns out. And I thought this was a real three-dimensional role, and that's why I came on. And so yeah, I was excited about it, and I knew it was like the part to get on the show. Like I
Oh,
was like, this is the part.
no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
I was when I saw your name in the credits before it had even aired, obviously, because it was so hush hush, And it's and when I knew a little bit about it, I was like, this is my kind of show. Like I know it's my kind.
Yeah.
But we really did not. Nobody knew what we were in for in that first episode. So I can't even wait to see where this goes. But
Yeah, it's
what?
cool. It's cool. And it gets interesting, it does. It does. It does. It's like, and it's been, fun to play the part because the girls and everybody, we're all like, friendly
Of
and it's fun.
course. Yeah, I mean, of course, right?
Yeah.
But to play a guy like this, I mean, I immediately thought he was kind of very Norman Bates-ish, Here he
Yeah,
was this,
that's funny. Yeah.
yeah, complicated relationship with his mom, who, great actress again. What a great cast, anyway.
Yeah.
But when he was leaving in that truck, you knew there was something going on upstairs there, that something was not right with this guy.
Right.
It's got to be fun to play these kinds of characters, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly, it is more fun than most parts because you get to dive into the psychological aspect and kind of, make it what you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, like I say, I can't wait to see where this goes. Congratulations on this.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, Faith. Now, I watched Faith last weekend. Again, blown away by your performance in this.
Thank you so
So
much.
this is a 180. This is so different from
Yeah.
what we're seeing in Big Sky. When you initially got that script, what was that like for you to read that through for the first time?
Yeah, so that's a great question. When I first got the script, I a friend sent it to me and said, "You, this actor, you might know him. He can't do it." And I knew him, and I had given him a job before. He's got a TV show or something. So I said, "Okay." And I I read it, and I was like, "Oh, God, I gotta talk to this director. This is kind of poses a question that's really interesting." And I thought,
Yeah.
well, exactly the kind of thing that I was looking to do, just kind of, which is act and have an important question that was something that I could relate to, but also I think people could relate to. And so when I met with Eli, um, he was able to explain that he had, he this was taken from his own life, not having someone die, but more the questioning.
Right.
Of religion. And so I thought it was a great thing. We always go, why would this happen if there's a God? Is basically to me the arc of the whole movie.
Yes, exactly.
And
So yeah, your character, Chris, of course, is very faithful. He's grown up. His dad is quite religious, and
right.
this is how he was raised. And then yeah, this tragedy happens, and I have to tell you, like as a mom who's raised two boys, they're both in their 20s now. It was heartbreaking. It was hard to watch this because do we see signals from our kids? Should we be more aware? This type of thing. And I wondered for you, was it something that you just went off the script, or did you do a little research to get into the mindset, first off, of maybe parents who had lost children to this, or the mindset of somebody who just stops believing? Was that something that you needed to explore?
Um, yes. Yes, it was, and of course, try to personalize what it would be in my life, and how I can start to understand what it would be like. For example, like both my parents died of cancer,
Oh,
um, at a fairly, sorry, one second.
okay, it's okay, no worries.
And so, really, I wasn't really able to, you know, for a minute to really get into it. But then there's also, you know, there's so many things in my life you go, why did this happen if there's this? And
Right.
my parents obviously being the bigger, and I was young to have both my parents die, and so that
Wow.
was a big thing. And I started talking and thinking about that. Also, talking, I don't have children, but a lot of, obviously, my sisters and my friends, and so to ask them, like, what if anything, like, what would it be like? And they're just like, it
Mhm.
would be like the end of the world. And I started understanding, reading about it. And you just kind of do a lot of this stuff. I'd say 90% of the work I do on this or Big Sky or anything doesn't even
Yeah.
mean anything. But that's kind of what the exciting part of playing a role like this is that you have to do the work.
Right.
And that's part of the excitement of being an actor for me, is to turn all the stones, and maybe one, you get this little piece of something, and then you start going, what movie is this like? What
Yeah.
part is this like? What character is this like? And then, yeah,
Yeah, it's really makes you think, Faith, honestly. Made me think a lot about, do I believe enough? Do I, as you say, there's so many things, obstacles, things that happen in our lives that are out of our control.
yes.
And it really does pose so many questions, this film. Like, after you shoot a movie like this, Brian, does it change you in any way?
Um, yeah, of course. I mean, you always have the experience I mean, it will change you from one. Anytime you do something like this, it changes you as an actor, an artist. It changes your thought process.
Yeah.
It changes and certainly the subject matter would change my education, at the very least, of religion, and this, and different kinds of religion, why people are religious and what they get out of it, and so anytime you play a role outside, any role that I don't have to prepare for should be a comedy. Otherwise, it's just not really worth doing.
Yeah.
You want to, and I'm not even sure I successfully did this role, but that's not the important part. The important part is that we tried to show up and all make this movie. And when you do a movie this small, like a micro budget movie, you're all there for the right reasons. We're all there to
Sure.
create.
Yeah, yeah, and funny that you say that, because I actually had the opportunity to speak with Nora Jane Noon back in September. She had a film. I'm speaking to you from Toronto, which you know very well, the Toronto International Film Festival. I think the last time I actually spoke to you was for Hurt Locker. I can't even believe that. But anyway, but I got to speak to her about a film called Wildfire that she had, which was also a tough film because her co-star died of cancer after they filmed this film. And we talked a little bit about Faith, because it was so interconnected with everything she was going through. But her character, who plays, she plays your wife, it's interesting to see how people grieve differently, and what she's going through and what your character is going through. What was it like to work with her? She's such a great Irish actress. We don't, she's not given enough credit, I think. She's amazing.
Yeah, she is great. It was great to work with her, and she had the part for a while, so she really understood the grief, like you're saying, and it really was great to work off her, and it helped me in a lot of ways. And we kind of explored that relationship of, like, this thing we loved is gone. How do we connect, or do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she was terrific. And Chris Marquette is a good friend of mine, who's her husband, and they have a kid together. He's a great actor, and he's a good
Yeah.
friend of mine. So we already had the, like, okay, we're friends. We had that trust, and honestly, doing any movie, the more trust you have, that's really, to me, what chemistry is having trust with the other actor. And obviously, she's a sweet, woman, and she was a terrific actor, and that Chris, and she really connected to this part, and it was like, whoa. So it
Yeah.
was great. All the actors, Thomas Murphy, Ido Goldberg, they were all so fun and lovely, and it was. I mean, we literally, there's like a piece of gum and like a granola bar for craft service. I mean, it was. I'm
No
like,
fancy trailers.
we're doing shit like we're driving around. I'm in a truck. I'm like holding a bounce card. Like, just they're like, we can't do this, but just go do
Yeah.
it. You know, they're like, no, it's hurt. I'm like, fuck it, let's shoot it. Like, I was like, I'm here to work. Let's get this done. So it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, it was one of those little nitty gritty experiences. You know, we shot the movie in what 18 days, and
Yeah.
I drove up to where Eli has this friend's farm, and we just shot there. I stayed in this motel, had a little pool. It's pretty gnarly, and I had my coffee. And Sunday, I think we had Sundays off. So even one day, me and the cinematographer went to Santa Cruz and went surfing because it was over.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was good. But yeah, yeah, I think the film is a sweet film in a way. I mean, you know, it's a very micro budgeted movie, and
Yeah.
you know, I also wanted to. I thought like, well, because I have this, you know, I feel like sometimes people think because I'm 45 years old, people think I'm so young looking and all this stuff, and so I wanted to play more of the blue collar, you know, like my family, like how I grew up in New
Yeah.
Jersey. I kind of wanted to play that play that part. I always want to play that part. And so I want to see if I could do it. And I like the, you know, I kind of like the idea of the simple being a farmer, and that's what you do. And you have a son and your wife and you take care of things. I like
Right.
that idea of that. I want to see honestly if I could do it believably.
Well, you did do it believably, I
Thank you
have to
very much.
say. And, you know, like I said, you know, you are everything we see you in, like whether it's film or you're no stranger to television series, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's, let's face it, that's your bread and butter for sure. There's no question about that. From Chicago PD and Chicago Fire and all this stuff. But when you know, when we get back to something like Big Sky, you know, seriously, what is it when you get a script now? When somebody gives you something, what triggers you? Why do you want to do a role?
Well, first of all, you there's two reasons. One, you have an instinct of like, oh, I can play this. I know something triggers you, or you're terrified of it.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like, I can't do this, and you always got to follow this. Like, this isn't something's not right about this because I've taken those jobs, and you know that people don't. It doesn't. Usually something feels not right about it, and you're there trying to stick a square peg into a round hole. So that's it, you know. And I don't know why they get, you know, they I didn't, you know, they just offered me the Big Sky. And I thought, all right, maybe they seen me on another, you know, playing a psychopath on Boardwalk Empire or something. I'd imagine because
Well,
this
you
is.
were good on that too. Like that
Thank
was
you.
one of my favorite shows. I love that show.
Yeah, and so I dove in. You know, the Norman Bates thing was the obvious way, and so what I did is I thought like this guy's a bit like Tom Hanks in Big meets the Joker, and and I started, you know, because he was
Yeah.
very like in a way, and I started diving around, and then you get there, you do all this work, and you get there, and it changes on the day. You go, oh shit, this happened,
Yeah.
and in this particular instance, regardless of people love or hate the show, I'd imagine it's a
So far,
device.
so good. It's getting really good reviews so far.
Okay,
I
good.
haven't
Yeah.
seen a
So
single
so the
episode,
thing
but
is.
yeah. I think it's gonna. Oh, definitely. I don't think you have to worry about it. Did you have to learn to drive a truck for that, or is? Or,
No, but I was able to on my own accord. I'm. It's a very crazy scenario where I'm towed by another truck around a
crazy.
mountain, and then there's the Russian arm shooting that.
Wow. Yeah, that scene on that highway, and it looked a little dangerous. Like
Yeah.
crazy, crazy stuff. Well, I look forward to that. I have to say, I really do want to
Thank
thank
you.
you for your time. I know we've been going back and
No,
forth. And
I'm so sorry about that. Thank you so much
no,
for
not
making the
no.
time.
I listen. I get it. You're a busy dude, and I can't wait to watch next Tuesday night. I'm so
Thank
excited.
you, Bonnie.
But
Thank
we'll
you
get
so
the word.
much.
Yeah, but we'll get the word out on Faith too. You've done a
Thank you. I appreciate that.
spectacular job. You're very, very
Thank you.
welcome. And best of luck with everything, Brian. Great to talk to you today.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Oh, I have another movie coming out tomorrow called Blind
Oh,
Fire.
which one?
It's called Blind Fire.
Oh, what's so? Give us a little scoop on
It's
that.
basically it's about this LA cop who's been around a bit. You know, I'm a cop on the beat, and I end
Yeah.
up getting this random call with my partner, um, and I end up shooting and killing a guy, and he's an African American guy. And the question is why did I do it? Was,
Ah,
did I feel threatened? And it turns out to be, and what was interesting was it was about this swatting where these kids like call from their game stations and they make false 911 calls.
I've heard about this
So this
actually.
so it's
Yeah.
kind of questions your your moral compass. Like, why did you do this? Was this something that was a prejudice? Was this some part of being white privileged? And
Yeah.
a lot of the conversations that are going on today that are
I was going
very
to say it couldn't be more
relevant.
relevant right now.
Yeah, yeah. And so we did it a while ago, and it was another terrifying part, but I did it anyway, and here we are.
Well, good for you. My goodness. Well, keep up the great work. And once the borders are open, we want to get you back in Toronto. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. My girlfriend was just there. She might be heading back. Well, so you'll talk to her.
Okay. That sounds like a
Okay.
plan. Brian, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And have yourself a good night. I really
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much. Bye
Take
bye.
care. Okay. Bye bye.